Looks like if you have a flight with Spirit within the next 24 hours, you will not be taking that flight to Spirit. You won't be taking it tomorrow or any other day after that because Spirit Airlines is going to be closing for good. They're done.
Hashim Walters seemed like the ultimate underdog story. At just 30, the New Orleans entrepreneur made a bold move to acquire Spirit Airlines through the Latimer Group, hoping to create the first Black-owned commercial airline in U.S. history. It was ambitious. It was historic. But now, that dream may be ending before it ever had the chance to take off. With Spirit Airlines reportedly facing shutdown on May 1st, 2026, after a $500 million federal rescue deal collapsed, Walters' vision may be slipping away at the worst possible moment. Spirit Airlines is now facing what could be the most critical moment in its history. And with every passing hour, the situation appears to be getting worse. What just days ago looked like a possible government-backed rescue is now hanging by a thread. And according to fresh reports coming in as this video goes live, Spirit Airlines may be only days, possibly even hours, away from a complete operational shutdown.
Let's talk about what the heck actually happened to Spirit Airlines. November of 2024, they first filed their first Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That was driven by all the post-COVID mounting losses, failed merger attempts with JetBlue and with Frontier, and debt pressure. Then in March 2025, they emerged and they exited out of a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They had restructured, they continued operating their flights. It seemed like everything was working. But within months, in August of 2025, they filed their second Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Sometimes what we call a Chapter 22 bankruptcy, when you file two 11s back to back because the first restructuring wasn't good enough.
Sources close to the negotiations say the airline's available cash is no longer being measured in weeks. It's being measured in days. And if no last-minute agreement is reached, flights could begin suspending as early as this weekend.
If you have a Spirit Airlines ticket, don't go to the airport. Chances are that if you do today, you'll likely going to find a version of this. We're here at LaGuardia Terminal A, the Spirit hub in New York City, and the check-in monitors telling customers that Spirit has gone out of business. And perhaps most frustratingly, it also tells them customer service is no longer available. That means there were a handful of frustrated passengers early this morning who arrived here at the airport.
Your flight has been canceled, find an agent. So I was looking for an agent, they were like, there's no agent, there's no customer service.
People that were standing here just said, there's no flights.
The company failed to secure a $500 million federal bailout from the government.
The crisis centers around a proposed $500 million bailout package that many viewed as Spirit's final lifeline. The plan reportedly involved the government stepping in, providing emergency financial support, and potentially taking a temporary ownership stake until the airline could stabilize. At first, there appeared to be progress. Two of Spirit's three major creditor groups were said to be on board, but then everything hit a wall. Bondholders pushed back, submitted a counteroffer, and negotiations quickly stalled.
Spirit Airlines closing at 2 p.m. tomorrow, y'all. Y'all may think I'm dramatic, but Spirit really done got me to some moments, y'all. It really has. May have been a little ghetto and there may have been attitudes, but I always got there in one piece and at a good price too. I mean, like Spirit Airlines got me from mainland USA to Jamaica in one piece. You know what I'm saying? International. And now they're gone. On a serious note, I actually really upsetting because I'm thinking about all the workers who are going to get laid off and like the people who were actually be able to fly and travel because of these budget flights now can't. It's just so sad.
Since then, talks have reportedly come to a near standstill, leaving Spirit's future surrounded by uncertainty. Even though officials, including members of the White House, remain publicly optimistic that a final push could still save the airline, market analysts aren't nearly as confident. Some insiders are giving the deal less than a 25% chance of actually crossing the finish line. That means what we're watching right now may not be a temporary setback. It may be the final chapter of one of America's biggest low-cost carriers.
If they had done it once, maybe they could come out of it again. Then the collapse phase hit, and that was April to May of 2026. And I felt this because we were in Boston at the NACBA, the National Bankruptcy Conference, and we had flown Spirit. So I was concerned that we weren't going to have a flight back. And here's what happened. Fuel costs spiked dramatically, as we all know. Liquidity ran out, and attempts at raising more capital failed as well. So then, of course, today we woke up to the sad news that around 3 a.m., Spirit has ceased all operations. Its final flight landed after 34 years. And see, this is where it's so much like bankruptcy for individuals because life happened to Spirit too. Fuel prices increased. There were failed mergers with Frontier and JetBlue. Competition got tighter. Deals fell through and they had not been really profitable consistently for years, probably since before COVID. And it wasn't just one thing. It was things just stacking up one after another. And that's exactly what we see happen with our clients. It's never just one bill, one bad decision, one purchase. It's literally life stacking up over time. Bankruptcy is not what caused their problem. Bankruptcy was the attempt to fix it. And the truth is that timing really matters because the earlier on in a process that you address the problems, the more options and the more chances you have of it working out. Bankruptcy is a tool. It's all about how and when you use it.
This crisis didn't happen overnight. Spirit filed for its second Chapter 11 bankruptcy in August of 2025 after years of mounting debt, weak earnings, and a business model that simply wasn't delivering profits. Despite that, just weeks ago, company leadership was still targeting a summer 2026 exit from bankruptcy and projecting confidence about the future.
In early 2026, Spirit reached a restructuring agreement with creditors aiming for an exit from bankruptcy by early summer of 2026, with plans including shrinking its fleet significantly. However, due to surging jet fuel prices driven by geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, kind of crushed its already thin margins that they had. The Trump administration was in some advanced talks to do a potential bailout equivalent to roughly $500 million, like a $500 million government loan in exchange for warrants that could give the U.S. government a large equity stake. However, Spirit couldn't secure enough support from bondholders and stakeholders, and without the bailout, the airline is running critically low on money.
But then fuel prices surged, operational costs exploded, and the airline's already fragile cash reserves began disappearing at an alarming rate. In recent months, Spirit has aggressively cut routes, removed aircraft from service, and pulled out of multiple cities in an effort to survive.
Airport, we're reporting, of course, on the shutdown of Spirit Airlines. You can see that there's no one here besides some police officers that are making sure that nobody messes with what is left behind. It was 3 a.m. when the company made that official announcement. We, of course, heard earlier from some flyers that have been impacted by this, but we wanted to know, how the employees are handling this devastating news. 17,000 employees across the country impacted by this shutdown, hundreds impacted here in Houston.
The airline focused only on its most profitable routes, hoping restructuring would buy enough time. But according to multiple financial sources, Spirit may now lack enough funding to cover payroll, suppliers, and day-to-day operating expenses beyond this weekend. And if Spirit shuts down, the impact goes far beyond the airline itself.
I've been seeing some of the jokes about Spirit, with the business closing. I don't think those jokes are funny because, almost 20,000 people in the middle of the night lost their jobs. I don't think that's really funny. And ultimately, this is going to cost a lot of people a lot of money in different ways.
More than 7,500 employees directly working for Spirit could see their jobs disappear, along with another 10,000 workers whose employment depends on the airline's operations. Travelers could also face major disruptions. If you currently have a Spirit booking, experts are advising passengers to prepare backup plans immediately.
I can't get back home. It's turning into a $160 round trip to $400 or $500, maybe more with both. I can't get a rental car. It's affecting my job. I have to be back at a hospital, take care of patients Monday.
Christian Fox planned to return from Indianapolis to his home in Naples, Florida Saturday, until he woke up to a text message from Spirit Airlines telling him his flight and all other Spirit flights had been canceled.
And what was your immediate reaction?
Honestly, really off.
The ultra-discount airline closing down amid its second bankruptcy, saying it's starting an orderly wind down of operations effective immediately and telling its customers it can't help them rebook flights with other airlines.
You can't even go up there to try to reschedule your plane because no one's going to be there. And phone lines are turned off.
Credit card purchases may be refundable, but travelers already mid-trip could find themselves stranded, forced to buy expensive last-minute tickets home. Frequent flyer members are also being warned to use their points now, because if Spirit goes dark, those rewards may instantly become worthless. And perhaps the biggest long-term impact, airfares across many U.S. routes could rise significantly if Spirit disappears from the market. For now, flights are still operating, planes are still taking off, and from the outside, everything appears normal. But behind the scenes, Spirit Airlines may be fighting for its final hours. The next 24 to 48 hours could decide everything.
I don't know what I got myself into thinking that flying Spirit was a smart choice. So I flew from Delta to Las Vegas, one-way trip, thinking like, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna go back home. I knew when I was gonna go back home. I was gonna go back home at the end of the month, okay? So I should have thought, oh, let me just book a round trip. No, I didn't want to because I was being stubborn. Okay, so I'm going to book a ticket. Spirit comes up for like $80. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Happened to be I paid the same amount I would have paid for a whole round trip because I got checked bags, I picked my seat, I got Wi-Fi. Okay, go to the airport, flight is delayed. Okay, cool, pilot doesn't show up, cool, canceled, next day scheduled. Everyone's like really pissed and scared, and like when I get that energy where like I'm freaking out, having anxiety, like I don't want to get on a plane. So I go up, I'm like, we're already delayed again this morning. I was like, okay, so like, is there another flight tonight? And is it the same crew? They're like, we have another flight. It's not the same crew. I was like, you know what? Can you book me on that flight? Like, I'm having like severe anxiety. I don't want to deal with this crew. I'm having an issue here. So cool. Bags are already on the plane. And I literally said, I missed the whole event because of my anxiety, but that just shows you like I could not get on this plane. The people, the staff, everyone was just kind of in like a panic mode, and like I was in a panic mode and I could not be on a flight with that energy. So I'm back in Vegas. Can't complain. Weather's nice. Of course, when I leave, the weather starts, being nice out here, but I'm never booking Spirit again. This was my last straw, and also Spirit is going out of business. So that's great. And today is like all over the news. So, but anyways, Delta it is.